The facts are crystal clear. Climate change is real.
Climate change
is already affecting people, ecosystems, and livelihoods all around the world.
Here in Miami, we're the #1 city in the U.S. to be impacted by sea level rise.
For a city that sits only 4 feet above sea level, the king tide causes a royal headache for the 90,000 people that live here.
Between the 1920s and the present, the estimate is the water levels have gone up about a foot or a foot and a half.
Due to climate change and sea level rising, eventually properties on the beach is either going to be inundated underwater or a liability.
Now people are thinking about how long they get to live in Miami Beach because they're at a lower elevation, and elevation is really the key to whether or not you're going to be flooded.
This gets us to the topic of gentrification. There's the issue that higher elevation properties in the urban core are becoming more and more desirable because they are going to stay dry longer, they're going to be flooding less.
So the developers are coming into inland because that's necessarily going to be the new waterfront property.
You go down here through Little Haiti, Wynwood down here, Design District in here, Liberty City, you see all these kind of higher areas that are going to be much safer.
And as a result of that, although it has been a very lower income area for a long time, real estate developers are now coming in and buying up the plots of land.
Investors have been going around knocking on people's doors, offering them hundreds of thousands of dollars for their homes if they are the owners. And these people are thinking that, oh, I'm getting $300,000 for my home. They take its money and they would sell, not knowing that they cannot find a home for $200,000 or $300,000.
Little Haiti is really kind of the poster child for what they call climate gentrification. That's when areas in one part of a city or a state or area, suddenly the real estate there becomes much more valuable because of climate change.
If you look at the modeling that I'm doing with some colleagues, we're looking at the price of individual parcels, and then we're measuring things like elevation, distance from the shoreline, and about 10% of the change that's occurring can be directly attributed to elevation or distance from areas of particular flooding. So yes, I would say is a factor.
We knew that the area was going to come up because we're only 5 minutes from Miami International Airport, 5 minutes from downtown Miami, about 8 to 10 minutes from the beaches. And I think it was one of the reasons why they wanted to make this place a bit more expensive in Miami than most other places. To be honest with you, I've been in Miami since the 70s. It floods here in Little Haiti just as bad as it does almost everywhere in Miami.
Although prices are still rising in South Florida for homes, they're actually rising less rapidly in Miami Beach than in Little Haiti. And that's definitely an indication of climate gentrification.
All of the signs are showing that this is why, they're coming into these neighborhoods.
Little Haiti has changed for, I cannot say for the worse, but to me, it's not the same thing anymore. You don't see that many Haitians here in Little Haiti as you used to. You see more Caucasians. You used to have more Haitian businesses. There used to be more Haitian homeowners.
Little Haiti was 36th Street, South, Biscayne, East. We could say 81st or 82nd North and 7th Avenue West, right? Now, I think it's 20 blocks. So it's just slowly being shedded. And so with that shrinkage and that sense of community, you're losing that.
Everywhere you went, people played dominoes in their yards. We had great griot, which is fried pork and fried plantains. And you'd hear Creole in the streets, which is our language. And, you know, so it's not the same thing anymore.
What I see happening is the end of the displacement. So this is it. This is the final nail in the coffin for Little Haiti and for the people of Little Haiti.
On the one hand, people feel we definitely have to have a higher density of population on the high ground. And when you talk about urban living, higher densities, all that stuff, that's a prime thing for gentrification.
And so when you go into a low-income neighborhood and you improve it to middle-class taste, what did you do with the people? Did you make the people middle class all of a sudden?
So that urban core area that are predominantly African American, poor population, which is the workforce for the industries that serve tourism, that serve Miami's location, in the entertainment industries, travel, housing, gets displaced.
You got to come into my neighborhood and took everything. So you scared of me taking the $2, $3 out your pockets. You took my neighborhood.
And there's a kind of misconception in a way that the primary risk for sea level rise is on Miami Beach and along the more coastal areas. But the reality is actually that inland, those areas all have to be drained if there's a major rain event or hurricane, and as sea level goes up, they're going to get harder and harder to drain out.
I don't have the solution. I don't know if there is a solution, because this seems like it's an inequality of man, so it goes down to the actual nature of us. You need people fighting for the policy. You need people fighting for the lawmakers. You need people educating the community. It's a fight.